Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Badminton Unlimited. Coming up on the show, the best of the action, drama and emotion from the Total BWF Thomas and Yuba Cup Finals 2018. We have some fun with the Thailand team as they reveal the secret behind the best Thai treats. And the big winners of the Total BWF Thomas and Yuba Cup Finals 2018.
The 37-year wait is over.
The Thomas and Yuba Cup Finals is a unique experience for players and fans alike, as it allows shuttlers to compete together as a team rather than individuals. As a result, the camaraderie and the battle for pride is a sight to behold. The 2018 edition, held in Bangkok, lived up to all expectations as it provided great drama, emotions and nail-biting action. The group stage of the Thomas Cup witnessed the elimination of contenders India and hosts Thailand. India fielded a weakened side, and that proved to be their undoing, as France got the better of them in the first tie of Group A. World number 43 Lucas Corvet's win over the higher-ranked Samir Verma was the turning point, as it gave the European nation a 2-1 lead in the tie. From there, France did not look back, taking the next two matches to seal their first win of the tournament. India bounced back to beat Australia next, but then fell to top seeds China 5-0 in their final tie. World number 9 HS Pranoy was outplayed by Olympic champion Chun Long, who triumphed 21-9, 21-9 in the opening singles. And it was a downward slide for the Indians from there, the young team failing to counter the power and experience of the Chinese.
也没有今天对手可能觉得可能出不了线了吧。 对印度队可能比较难出线了，所以他们也今天这个普拉诺伊也不是很全力以赴吧，也打得比较随意，对，也不是说我打得多好。
Meanwhile, France was the surprise package of the tournament, qualifying for the quarterfinals with victories over India and Australia. Their only loss came against China, who blanked them 5-0. The Chinese men sent their rivals a message with a perfect showing in the group stages, winning all three of their ties without dropping a match.
士气肯定是比较旺的嘛，肯定是大家团结一心，想去夺到这个冠军吧。
The other big loss in the group stage was Thailand. The host nation had a tough challenge in Group B, lining up alongside Canada, Indonesia and Korea. They came agonisingly close to a thrilling victory in their opening tie against Korea. In the second doubles, Kitanupon Kedren and Dechapol Puavaranekro were 2 points away from levelling the tie, only to watch Kang Min Hyuk and Kim Wan Ho wriggle out of a tight spot and go on to win the match and tie 18-21, 21-19, 21-17. The Thai team was eliminated after a 4-1 loss to Indonesia, with Korea beating Canada by the same scoreline. They got a consolatory 5-0 win over Canada in their final tie of the group stage, but it was heartbreak in the end for the host nation.
For all our teams, they show like something they want it, and then I think it's like they show something like what they call, yeah, they show their hunger to give the best, and then I think they did it, and then it's like I'm happy for that.
So, at the end of the group stage, 8 nations made the cut. China topped Group A and qualified for the knockout phase along with France. Indonesia and Korea progressed from Group B, while Japan and Chinese Taipei booked their places in the quarterfinals from Group C. Denmark grabbed top honours in Group D, with Malaysia a close second. The Yuba Cup similarly witnessed the exit of India in the group stage. The Indian team were without their top singles and doubles players, and that impacted their performance as their only victory in Group A came against Australia. Canada got the better of India in the opening tie before Japan routed them in the final tie 5-0. Saina Nehwal put up a brave fight against Akane Yamaguchi in the first singles, but fell short when it mattered most, with the Japanese winning 21-19, 9-21, 22-20. The rest of the young Indian team could do little against a formidable Japanese lineup, and the loss, along with Canada's win over Australia, sealed their exit from the tournament.
I think they're all trying their level best, how much ever they can. It's not easy, of course, when we are playing from so many years. It's not easy for us. I'm sure the young ones are just starting, so it is also difficult for them. But everyone is trying, and hopefully, in the coming Thomas Uber Cup or the tournaments, I'm sure they will get stronger and they'll play well.
Canada's win against India and later Australia saw them book their place in the quarterfinals for the first time.
Well, I think it's really big because, like I said, Canada's not known as being one of the top countries for badminton, so it's cool that we got to make our mark this tournament.
Japan, meanwhile, clinched top spot and lived up to their billing of top seeds with 3 wins in 3 and without dropping a game. Host nation Thailand also pulled off a near-perfect performance with a 100% win record in Group B. It was only in their final tie against Chinese Taipei that the Thai women were tested, emerging 3-2 winners. Malaysia bowed out of the tournament after suffering back-to-back losses in Group D. Having to contend with the likes of China, France and Indonesia, Malaysia found it tough going in their group. A narrow 3-2 loss to Indonesia in the first tie, followed by a 4-1 thumping at the hands of the defending champions, sealed the Malaysians' fate. They did leave the tournament with a 5-0 victory over France.
The only thing that we're supposed to deliver on the doubles, but our doubles still maybe because we don't have really the partnership. So with all the pair is a scratch pair because Ron Kowe is not in the team. So we will have to partner, have to be the versatile player. So maybe on that part, we have to improve on that part.
So, at the end of the group stage, here are the teams that made it to the knockout round. Japan and Canada progressed from Group A, while Thailand topped Group B to go through along with Chinese Taipei. From Group C, Korea and Denmark booked their spots, as did China and Indonesia from Group D. Following the group stage, the knockout draw was held on the 23rd of May to find out who would face whom in the quarterfinals of the Total BWF Thomas and Uber Cup Finals 2018, as well as set the path to the finals. In the Thomas Cup, top seeds China drew Chinese Taipei as their next opponents, while at the other end, number 2 seeds Denmark had Korea to contend with. Surprise package France were given the almighty challenge of taking on the Japanese, while the battle of the round was Indonesia versus Malaysia. The Uber Cup draw saw number 1 seeds Japan facing Chinese Taipei next, while defending champions China drew Denmark at the other end. First-time quarter-finalists Canada had the daunting task of defeating Korea to keep their Uber Cup dreams alive, while the trickiest tie was Thailand versus Indonesia. We'll continue with our recap in a short while. Let's now make a quick detour to the mixed zone as the always hospitable Thai team teaches us how to order some of the must-have Thai delicacies in Bangkok.
Welcome to Thailand. Today we would like to teach you some Thai words. Green curry is Gang Kia Wan. Gang Kia Wan. Gang Kia Wan. Papaya salad is Som Tam. Som Tam. Som Tam.
Fish cake is ทอดมัน ทอดมัน ทอดมัน
บาซิลพอกครับกระเพราหมูครับผมกระเพราหมูกระเพราหมูผัดไทย without chili ครับผัดไทยไม่ใส่พริกครับผัดไทยไม่ใส่พริกผัดไทยไม่ใส่พริก
Thai milk tea is ชาเย็น ชาเย็น ชาเย็น
Coconut juice is น้ำมะพร้าว น้ำมะพร้าว น้ำมะพร้าว
Salt grilled fish คือปลาย่างเกลือปลาย่างเกลือปลาย่างเกลือ
Mango sticky rice the Thai name is ข้าวเหนียวมะม่วง 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 ค่ะ yeah.
And so the Uber Cup teams got the quarterfinals started. China and Korea both suffered shock-opening match losses to Denmark and Canada before order was restored in the morning session. Mia Blichfeldt took on Chun Yu-fei in the opening singles and showed no signs of being intimidated by the occasion or her opponent. It was Chen's sluggishness that Blichfeld pounced upon to take the 21-18, 13-21, 21-12 win.
That's it! It's a fantastic victory!
But Gao Fangjie came to China's rescue, soaking up the pressure to deliver a ruthless 21-11, 21-11 win over Lina Hoimak-Kaisfeld. World champions Chen Qingchen and Jia Yifan were just as dominant in the first doubles, defeating Sara Turkson and Maiken Fruegaard to give their team the 2-1 lead, before a calm and composed Li Jie finalised the result with a 21-7, 21-9 win over Natalie Koff-Rode.
今天打得好的是因为今天开始是淘汰赛了，所以而且打到我这也是2-1，如果能拿下就直接就锁定胜局，所以自己还是相对于昨天的小组赛来说，自己准备得更充分。
Korea too fought back from their opening singles loss that saw Sung Ji-hyun taken down by Canada's Michelle Lee. Lee Jiangmi survived a tough challenge from Rachel Honderich to level the tie, before Baek Ha-na and Lee Yu-rim gave their team the lead with a 21-10, 21-7 victory over Michelle Tong and Catherine Choi in the first doubles. 16-year-old An Se-yong, for a second time in the tournament, helped Korea clinch victory, defeating Brittany Tam 21-13, 19-21, 21-11. The Korean showing off her moves, and we're not just talking about badminton.
지연쌤이랑 약속을 한 게 그래서 이기면 게임에서 이기면 하자고 하셔서 그걸 했던 것 같아요.
In the afternoon session, top seeds Japan too suffered their first defeat of the tournament, with Chinese Taipei's Tai Tu-ying defeating Akane Yamaguchi in the opening singles 21-19, 21-16.
Oh, great rally and great finish.
However, Chinese Taipei's challenge fell short overall. Yuki Fukushima and Sayaka Hirota, Nozomi Okahara and Mizaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi all completed straight games victories to book Japan's place in the semi-finals. The only tie to go all the way was the clash between Thailand and Indonesia. Ratchanok Intanon putting the hosts ahead, routing Fitriani 21-8, 21-7, before Indonesian doubles pair of Gracia Polly and Apriani Rahayu equalised by defeating Jongkolpan Kititarakul and Rawinda Prajonjai 21-11, 21-16. World junior champion Gregoria Mariska Tunjung then dramatically swung the tie in Indonesia's favour, upsetting Nicheon Jindapol 21-10, 22-20. Tensions heightened in the second doubles match, as Thailand's scratch pair of Sapsiri Ratanashai and Putita Supajurikul got the better of Della Destiara Harris and Rizky Amelia to level the tie 2-2. The deciding match pitted Ruseli Hartuan against Busanan Ongbung Rengpan, and it was the Thai who came out all guns blazing, her opponent left helpless as she raced through the 21-9, 21-12 win to the absolute delight of her team and home crowd. The Thomas Cup quarterfinals started with China crushing Chinese Taipei 3-0. The top seeds dropped just one game, and that was in the first singles when Chu Tian-chun took the second game against Chun Long. But normal service resumed, and Chun came back stronger in the third to put China 1-0 up. World champions Zhang Nan and Liu Cheng, along with Yonex All England Open winner She Yuqi, completed the rout with straight games wins in the next two matches. Reigning champions Denmark also progressed by the same scoreline in the evening session. Up against Korea, Victor Axelsen was pushed all the way by Son Wan-ho in the opening singles, but showed nerves of steel as he held on for the 21-14, 14-21, 22-20 victory. And that inspired his team to push forward, Mads Conrad Petersen and Mads Pilo Kolding securing a comfortable straight games win, which was followed by a hard-fought victory for Hans Christian Solberg Vittinghus over Lee Dong-kyun. The victory set up a mouth-watering clash with 2014 winners Japan, who booked their spot in the Final Four with a 3-1 win over France. Kento Momota set the team up nicely with a 21-13, 21-11 win over Brice Leverday, before Takeshi Kimura and Kaigo Sonoda doubled the score with another straight games win. Lucas Corvée continued to impress. He got the better of Kazumasa Sakai 21-17, 21-19 to pull one back for France. However, that's where France's challenge ended, as Hiroyuki Endo and Yuta Watanabe dispatched Tom Jikel and Ronan Labarre 21-17, 21-18 to seal the tie.
Oh, outstanding point! How about that?
The clash that had everyone's attention was Malaysia against Indonesia, featuring top-quality talent on both sides. Lee Chong-wei delivered the first blow, taking out Anthony Sinisuka Ginting 21-19, 21-16. But Marcus Finaldi Gideon and Kevin Sanjaya Sukamuljo got Indonesian fists pumping as they outlasted 2016 Olympic silver medalists Go Vi Shem and Tan Wee Keong 21-19, 2022, 21-13 in what was the turning point of the tie.
We're happy with our performance, especially the third set, because I think we play almost 100% at the third set.
Jonathan Christie then swung the momentum in Indonesia's favour with another hard-fought three-game victory over Lee Zheja. Indonesia made their big match experience count, as Peradua Malaysia Masters champions Fajar Alfian and Mohamed Rian Ardianto shot down Aaron Chia and Teo Yi 21-18, 10-21, 21-9 for the victory and a place in the semi-finals. Semi-finals day began with the Uber Cup matches, and Thailand stole the limelight with the biggest upset of the tournament so far, knocking defending champions China out of the competition. Former world champion Ratchanok Intanon put the hosts on their way when she took out world number 5 Chun Yu-fei 15-21, 21-9, 21-14 in the opening singles. But the world number 1 pair of Chen Jinchen and Jia Yifan drew China level with the 21-17, 22-20 win over Jonggolpan Kittitarikul and Rwinda Prajongjai. Then Thai captain Nicheon Jindapol swung the momentum her team's way. A hard-fought 19-21, 21-19, 21-12 victory over Gao Fangjie put their side 2-1 up. Tensions were high in the second doubles, with Thai pair Putita Supajirikul and Sapsiri Tairatanichai giving their all to take the first game 26-24. But Huang Ya-chong and Tan Jinhua did not give in, coming back to win the next 2 games to clinch victory after 98 minutes on court and level at 2-2. And that set the stage for a dramatic finish in the deciding singles match between Busanan Ongbung Rungpan and Lee Jie-rei. But the 2012 Olympic gold medalist was out of sorts against the Thai and could not catch up. And Ongbung Rungpan raced through the match 21-11 and 21-9 to send Thailand into their first ever Uber Cup final.
ก็รู้สึกดีใจมากค่ะที่สามารถทำแต้มสุดท้ายให้ทีมได้อีกครั้งหนึ่งค่ะก็คือเหมือนคิมรู้ว่าการเจอจีนเนี่ยมันยากมากที่จะชนะและทุกคนก็รู้ดีต่างก็รู้ดีแล้วก็คิมนั่งเชียร์เพื่อนมาตั้งแต่เกมแรกคือทุกคนแบบเต็มที่กับเกมมากๆแล้วก็พอถึงตาเราอ่ะเราก็อยากจะทำแบบหน้าที่ที่โค้ชให้โอกาสเราได้ลงไปตีให้ได้ดีที่สุดอ่ะแล้วมันก็แบบทำได้จริงๆ
Meanwhile, for the first time since China entered the tournament in 1984, they did not reach the final. In the final, Thailand would face Japan, who had an easier time in the semis against Korea. Akane Yamaguchi drew first blood with a 21-10, 21-13 win over Sung Ji-hyun. The Koreans, however, did surprise the Japanese when scratch pair Kim So-young and Shin Seung-chan outplayed Yuki Fukushima and Sayaka Hirota 21-19, 21-15 to level the tie. But Japan had world champion Nozomi Okuhara and Olympic champions Misaki Matsutomo and Ayaka Takahashi to shut out the Korean challenge and book their place in Saturday's final. The Thomas Cup also saw the reigning champions bow out at the semi-final stage. Badminton fans were treated to a special K performance as Kento, Kenta and Kanta proved to be the undoing of Denmark. World number 1 Victor Axelsen was the first to be tamed, surrendering quite easily to a superior Kento Momota in 40 minutes, 21-17, 21-9. Denmark fought back in the first doubles, Matthias Boe and Mads Conrad Petersen comfortably beating Kimura and Sonoda 21-18, 21-15. But then Kenta Nishimoto took to the court and quickly put Japan back in control, calmly defeating Hans Christian Solberg Vittinghus 21-19, 21-12. Japan looked like they'd wrap up the tie in the second doubles, with Takuto Inoue and Yuki Kaneko taking the first game. But Kim Astrup and Anders Skarup Rasmussen fought back bravely to clinch the 17-21, 21-16, 21-15 win. Deadlocked at 2-2, Kanta Tsuneyama delivered an inspired performance against Jan Jorgensen. Playing like a man on a mission, the world number 34 defied the odds as he took down an erratic Jorgensen 21-18, 21-11 to catapult Japan into the grand finale.
いや本当に自分2で回ってきた時は本当に負けるか勝つかの本当に最後の砦みたいな感じなんで、そこで自分が勝ったっていうのは本当に自信にもなりますし、まあなんですか、みんなの喜ぶ顔が見れて嬉しいです。
Across the net from Japan in the final would be China, who proved too strong for Indonesia in their semi-final. Chun Long opened China's account with a determined 22-20, 21-16 win over Anthony Sinisuka Ginting, before men's doubles top pair Marcus Finaldi Gideon and Kevin Sanjaya Sukamuljo fought hard to level the score 1-1. The Indonesians outlasted world champions Zhang Nan and Lu Cheng 12-21, 21-17, 21-15 in a 55-minute battle. Zhe Yuqi made further inroads in the second singles, taking down Jonathan Christie 18-21, 21-12, 21-15 to give China the 2-1 lead. In the second doubles, Li Jinwei and Lu Yuchen overpowered their experienced opponents, Mohamed Arsan and Hendra Setiawan 21-17, 18-21, 21-12 to send China into their first Thomas Cup final since 2012. The first trophy up for grabs was the Yuba Cup on the penultimate day of the tournament, and it would be a historic occasion no matter who won. Japan were looking for their first title since 1981, and Thailand their first title ever. Top-seeded Japan had delivered assured performances throughout the tournament and were just as single-minded against Thailand. Not letting the occasion or the partisan support get to them, Japan delivered the first blow as an unrelenting Akane Yamaguchi brought down Ratchanok Intanon 21-15, 21-19 with a masterful performance. Yuki Fukushima and Sayaka Hirota showed just why they're one of the best women's doubles pairs on tour, as they easily took out the scratch pair of Jongopan Kitatarikul and Putita Superdurikul 21-18, 21-12. Japan now in command with a 2-0 lead. And it seemed the hard-fought semi-final victory over China had taken its toll on the host nation, as Nichion Jindapol quickly ran out of steam in the second singles against Nozomi Okuhara. The Japanese world champion barely ruffled as she sealed the 21-12, 21-9 victory.
相手選手は前回昨日すごく厳しい試合をしていたので、その疲れがあって今日はすごくベストパフォーマンスは出せていなかったんですけど、でも試合っていうのは何が起こるかわからないので、最後の最後まで気を抜かずにしっかり一本取りに行けたのが良かったかなと思います。
Deserved winners, Japan finally lifted the Yuba Cup trophy for the first time in 37 years. The last day of the tournament saw China and Japan lock horns in the Thomas Cup final, a momentous occasion for both, with China gunning for title number 10 and Japan hoping for a clean sweep of the tournament. And it was the Japanese who made the better start, thanks to a mesmerising Kento Momota, who continued to outshine his opponents in what has been a memorable comeback so far. Chun Long this time falling victim to Momota's brilliant 21-9, 21-18 as Japan took the 1-0 lead. But China's world champions Zhang Nan and Lu Cheng made short work of Takuto Inoue and Yuki Kaneko 21-10, 21-18 to level the tie. Kenta Nishimoto, who was brilliant in his semi-final win against Vittinghus, looked a shadow of himself against Zhe Yuqi in the second singles. An error-strewn performance against an unyielding opponent meant Nishimoto was always playing catch-up, as Xu took the 21-12, 21-17 win. The day, though, belonged to the young pair of Li Junhui and Liu Yuchen. Playing against the scratch pair of Kaigo Sonoda and Yuta Watanabe, the Chinese were rattled by their pace and precision at the start. But to Li and Liu's credit, they hung on and patiently withstood the attack to mount their own challenge, forcing a deciding third game. In a nail-biting finish, Li and Liu brilliantly saved 2 Japanese match points before converting their own for the dramatic 17-21, 21-19, 22-20 win.
我觉得很开心吧，能在这种大赛中，得到一种锻炼，我觉得会对今后的比赛会有更好的这种，就是一种心理这种，怎么说呢？就是心理上会有一些这种，信心吧，积累一些信心。
China champions for the 10th time, recapturing the Thomas Cup that they'd last held aloft in Wuhan in 2012.